Hi everyone, this is just a quick video to introduce you to Module 2. You just finished Module 1, which contained your first essay assignment, the narrative essay. I will say it does take me a little bit longer to grade essays than other assignments, so don't expect a grade right away on your narrative essay. You will see it show up in the My Grades tab, so you can kind of keep an eye on that just to see when that pops up as being graded. I will show you later how to access the essay as well as the comments and the feedback and the grading rubric on that essay. So just keep an eye out for that, but don't expect it right away. I try to grade essays before the next essay is due, at least, so then you can see if there's anything about your writing that you need to start working on so you don't make the same mistakes in the next essay. So what we are doing in Module 2 is preparing for the cause and effect essay. The cause and effect essay has two modules. Module 2 is the preparation, and we're learning about a couple other things like thesis statements. And then Module 3 is actually writing the cause and effect essay. So we're not writing it yet. So you get a little bit of a break. The comparison essay will work the same way, where we have two modules to complete it. So I just want to go through the assignments that we're working on. You'll see that Module 2 is now open. Module 3 will open a little bit early. I think I have it set to open like a week early so you can see where we're going with the essay. Obviously, we have several steps to go through before you can finish and submit that essay. So first thing we're working on is pre-writing and invention. So we're practicing some of these first steps. When you sit down to write a paper, you should always start with pre-writing. So pre-writing and thesis statements kind of go together. So you're going to work on this journal first, and this journal is just to demonstrate pre-writing techniques, which some of you may have had a lot of instruction in and some of you may not. So these four exercises come out of the patterns textbook, and they follow one after another. And so all you have to do is, when you're ready to complete one of these entries, you just go into the journal and you create a journal entry. You'll title it with the exercise that you're doing, you'll type the exercise into the box, and then you'll post your entry. So it's pretty simple. The only one that you will submit a file for is exercise 7, because that is asking for a cluster map. A lot of students either hand draw it, take a picture of it, and then submit like a JPEG file, or they will do it on the computer using Word and using like circles and lines, which is fine, and then submit a Word document. So you have those two options for exercise 7. That was just a little bit more complicated. You need to do each exercise as a separate entry. So once you've posted entry 4, then you'll create another journal entry for exercise 5, and so on and so forth. Now, this is solely to practice pre-writing techniques. You are not writing an essay. Sometimes students get a little confused with the directions. You do not also have to write the 750-word essay. You are practicing pre-writing to determine a topic that you could use to write a 750-word essay. You are not writing the essay. It is also not attached to the cause and effect essay. This is not to help you find a topic for the cause and effect essay. It has nothing to do with it. This is a separate assignment. So keep that in mind. I'm not trying to confuse you. Sometimes students get they start to overthink the directions. You are just practicing questions, 2 free writes, and a cluster map. That's all you're doing. So let's take a look at the other assignments in the module. So we've got the pre-writing. You have some things on thesis statements. We have readings and a video, and then you have a review quiz. This review quiz is really important. It's optional. You don't get a grade on it, but I highly recommend that you take it because it's the exact same thing as the exam. You just get 5 questions instead of however many come on the exam. So what you can do basically is practice for the exam. I really recommend doing this because the exam is hard, and if you don't have any idea of what you're going to see when you go into the exam, then it's that much more difficult. You're not going to do so well on it. So the thesis statement review pulls statements from the exam. So you may actually end up seeing some. It's a pretty big pool, but you may see some that will actually show up on the exam. So it's really important that you do some practice first. So here's the exam. This is I think it's the only test that you can't take more than once. So you can only take it the one time, which means you need to be prepared. Do the readings and make sure you have an hour to sit down and do this. Don't start it at the last minute, and make sure that you you're in a spot where you can sit down and do this and have good internet connection and that kind of thing. So, and obviously you want to then go into the exam and take it. The other thing that you're doing is start preparing for the cause and effect essay. So we're doing two things. The first is the cause and effect reading response assignment. Now this is just, it's a writing assignment just to get you more practice with writing. This is not an essay. It is a personal response. So you have 3 example essays that you're going to read, and then I just want you to write a one-page response. You don't need to answer each question individually, but you want to type it out in paragraph form, sort of looking like an essay. It'll look like an essay, it's not an essay. You're just thinking about similarities between the readings, what you liked and disliked, so it's personal thoughts on the readings, what you liked, connections you made, that kind of thing. So it's not supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to show me that not only did you do the readings, but you understood them, and that you can apply those readings in context. So that's basically what we're practicing here. The last thing that you are going to do is the cause and effect discussion board. So you can view the essay assignment here. The essay assignment is to pick an event, a recent news event, and then either identify causes or effects of that event, and then trace the causal chain in your essay. And so there's a lot of examples of things that you can pick, but you want to try to isolate a single event that you can write about, because it's not a terribly long essay. So once you've decided what you think you might want to write your paper about, then you'll post on the discussion board. The discussion board's purpose is to help you get some feedback on your topic and your ideas before you start writing the essay. So you're creating your initial post about your stuff, you'll get some response posts from your peers, and then you'll also get feedback from me when you submit, when you finish your discussion board. Obviously I'll grade it, and then I'll leave you some feedback on your topic. And this should help then when you get set to actually write the paper. You'll have some ideas of what to work with. So that is all of Module 2. None of the assignments are really long or hard. Well, they might be hard for you, but they're not really long and labor intensive. Like I said, we're just practicing some of the cause and effect stuff and getting prepared to start working on the cause and effect essay in the next module. So I hope that you are doing well, and I hope you have a great weekend. And as always, if you have any questions about anything, be sure to send me an email.